So here we go. And hello, everyone, again. I am here with one of our closest chamber members, Claudia Goddiess from Apex Building Services. They are a commercial cleaner that is wildly busy right now because of everything that is going on. Right now, we're sitting during the coronavirus pandemic, and I can only imagine that your phone is just, you know, off the charts right now. So thank you for being on. Thank you for making time to be on with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. You know, I'm your #1 fan, so that's okay.
Thank you. So how did you decide, all right, cleaning, I'm going to get into cleaning? What made you do that?
It's funny because I guess I was put in here. I never made a decision of what do I want to be when I grow up kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even remember as a child if I had a dream of what I want to be when I was old. I still don't know what I want to do when I'm getting old.
No.
But I guess the circumstances in life kind of brings you here. When I came to this country long time ago, I kind of did like the stereotype of, you know what I mean, cleaning offices and things like that as a part-time job while I was putting myself to school. So I did a little bit of that, and then I got married, and I stayed home with the kids, and then I went back to school. And when I graduated, I got this great opportunity to work for one of the national, you know, well-established cleaning company. And I started with them, and I did all their marketing for that company. And that's when I start kind of like, I'm like, oh, I kind of like this because I like to be around people. I enjoy being, you know, communicating, training, doing all the marketing. I love all that. So in that company, I learned so much that it brought me to my next position or a higher level in another company. And I was on the field all the time. Even though it was an office job, I was on the field because I like to be with the crews. I like to be with the cleaning. I like to do the training. So with that, to make a long story short, about 2 years ago, my husband is like, you were there doing all these different things. Why don't we just start our own? I'm like, what, are you crazy? No, I want my paycheck. I don't want none of that crazy. I want my paycheck. You know, it's good when you know your check is there every week.
Yeah.
And he goes, come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. So I guess he pushed me, and then I started doing it. And I have to say, I've been enjoying every minute of it.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm loving it.
So an entrepreneur success story. You're very happy with that decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even though we're reinventing ourselves, because my original goals and my original proposals and my original thing that I wanted to do, it was totally different than what we're doing now.
Okay, yeah.
But it comes with the territory, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And so what are you doing now? Could you explain to everybody your capabilities and what you do?
Yes. So right now we are we're concentrating more on the disinfecting and make sure everybody's safe and make sure we are all like, you know, keeping our social distance and keeping all that, but trying to make sure, you know, the people are safe, our crews are safe, our families are safe.
Yeah.
What do we do with that? We kind of created, with different training I've been doing with the different companies, we put together a 3-process cleaning, system, where we go in with clean. We do your regular dusting, your regular wiping down, your regular, you know, cleaning to show, okay, not for health. Yeah. Then we do this because everybody cleans to show that it's clean, you know, not everybody cleans for health. Mm-hmm. So, and with that so that's the #1 process. And then the second one, what we do is we go and we use hospital grade disinfectants, which I choose 2 of the best ones in the market. And I go and then we do the same process that we did, with the cleaning and the wiping down, we use these products and we go and we clean because we had already cleaned all the debris. Now we are using it to disinfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Once we do that, then we go with electrostatic gun. And what this little system does is that it sprayed a particular chemical, which is all these little tablets, which I have somewhere here. Here, where it's like, I don't know if you can see it.
Not really. Okay. Oh yeah, chlorinated disinfecting tablets. Okay.
It's a chlorinated disinfectant tablets, and it's sanitizing at the same time. So we sanitize. So we put these little things, we mix them with the water, and then we use the electrostatic gun, and that's when we disinfect and sanitize kind of deal. So I was out there, I was training all the crews just to make sure that they use it properly. So now, instead of using 2, 3, or 4 people to actually clean, we have a double amount of crews because one's doing the first step, the other one doing the second, and then we have the person who's actually doing the electrostatic. So
yeah,
the crews are getting bigger.
So you're thoroughly cleaning.
We're very thoroughly cleaning.
Yeah.
We're doing things that we never kind of did before, where, like, for example, people don't like their keyboards to be touched. People don't like their computers to be touched, or the printers, or the mouse, or things like that. Now we're adding all that to the scope of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we used to do with the regular cleaning is we do the high touch point areas, like switches, doorknobs, all that, once a week. Not a big deal. Now we're doing it every day.
Wow. Yeah.
So the scope of work has changed. So with that is more time in, more thorough.
Yeah, yeah. And so, if anyone needs anything cleaned, you're the person to go to.
Yes, I am the person to go to.
Yeah,
of course. But with that say, there's a lot of things that we don't do too.
Okay, sure.
Okay, because I don't want to. Somebody called me a couple of weeks ago with a mold removal thing. We don't do that part.
That would be like a Bob, right?
So that's what I do. I have people that I send it to. In this case will be Bob. We'll make sure that, okay, take it care. We have one of our customers, they flooded, and it was bad. So when my crews got there at 10 o'clock at night, they call me and they're like, Claudia, what are we doing? I'm like, okay, first of all, shut everything down, whatever is possible you can be. We called and we were able to help them. We did help them out, but they called somebody specific for flood.
Got it. Okay.
So with that said, no, I am strictly cleaning and disinfecting commercial properties.
Got it. Okay, cool. So now that's perfect. Could we get into a little bit more of the history and philosophy of your business? So at what point, so you said you started this business 2 years ago. At what point did it kind of click like, oh yeah, this is way better than a paycheck?
Well, I still haven't get paid yet. I just did payroll, by the way. I just did payroll and I paid everybody, and my operations person goes, okay, we're doing this. And I said, okay, Luis, we're paying everybody. You get paid before I get paid. And then he goes, oh my God, I hope we can make it up. We did. But well, how can I say it? It's a good question because I don't get paid. Let's say my paycheck. Okay, I don't get paycheck, but I get a lot of rewards. Okay, I get a reward when I get a post in LinkedIn or in Facebook or something. How wonderful my crews have been doing, or how hard they work, or how the facility looked this morning. I think that's my paycheck. More than anything, seeing all these people working really hard. Most of these people are people who really need their job, so they put 110% because they need the job. Okay, so I am so proud of that. So I would say that's my paycheck first. Okay, of course everybody works for money. Of course everybody wants financial stability, right?
Yeah.
But I think that if my crews are well trained and they do what they love to do, I think the financial will later on come with, it will come for me, it will come for them, it will kind of like,
Yeah, it'll trickle down.
it will trickle down for everybody. Yeah.
Yes. So what is something that your past self would be incredibly proud of your present self that you have accomplished?
Wait.
So what would 18-year-old Claudia be
Okay.
like amazed that you have accomplished?
I am very proud of, 18-year-old or 50-something-year-old. I think I'm proud of what I am. Okay. And I tell my kids that all the time. And I'll tell you why. Because I came to this country with no language. I was a 17-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what is it when your parents move you from one town to the next? That's really bad at 17. When they move you from one country to the next, that's even 20 times worse.
I would even maybe say 30. That must be tough.
So it is hard for anybody at any age. I think at that age in particular is really, really hard. But with that say, I'm a very positive person. So with that say, it was all for a good thing. So me learning the language, me working in corporate America all the years I did and go at different levels, then go back to school at an older age, get my degree, being here where I am and doing all these great things for my company and for my people, I think it's just amazing. I think it's just, I don't know. I am very proud of it, and I know my kids and my husband are. So. But I just tell my kids that and it's true, when you do what you love, you don't work a day on your life or whatever it is. Yeah. So I work 12, 14 hours days. I don't feel it.
Yeah.
Like my husband always has to say, okay, are you done? I'm like, I'm sorry, I just got. But I said to my kids, if you put your heart into it no matter what, and if you love what you do, you're going to be successful. Mm. Even if it's digging holes. You're digging holes, and then, like my father always said that, dig a hole, but be the best one at digging holes.
Yeah.
My father is an entrepreneur, and he's a very successful entrepreneur too. So that's what I'm saying. Be the best one at what you love. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. So could you tell me, now usually I ask this question as, could you tell me about a time that you changed somebody's life? And I'm going to pose that same thing to you, but I want you to include your personal stories as well, because I'm not sure if cleaning has ever necessarily, like changed somebody's life or anything, but could you tell me about a time that you're very proud of that you impacted somebody tremendously?
Let's see. I get a lot of compliments, I want to say, with the cleaning part of it, okay? Yeah. Not with my company, but previous companies I have worked for, okay? Mm-hmm. Or previous places I've been before. So, like customers love to when like you promise them something and they come and they see like, oh, wow, she actually delivered what you promised and continue to deliver what you promised. So that comes with, I guess with a work-life kind of deal. I know I had a great opportunity long time ago to work with a needy family who came from South America, and their child was very ill. And at that time, they didn't speak English or anything like that. So I was able to help them translate. So something that it came where like, I just need a translator for like 2 sentences or whatever. I became their friend and help them through the whole process of it. So I want to say that I did make a big impact on them, even though I did very little. I think it was a great thing. So that's when it came to, to realization that I want to be in a business. It didn't matter what it was, helping others. So I think that's when things kind of turned and said, I want to help. How? I don't know. Because I can't be a nurse. I can't be a doctor. I don't have brains. But how can you help others and make changes and make it different?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's when,
You know, and that's what. So I've interviewed a lot of people, and it's a common thread among basically everyone that is successful that you don't clean things because you want to make money. You don't even clean things because you're obsessed with cleaning them. You clean things because you want to help people.
Oh, I'm not obsessed with cleaning. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Cleaning is not.
And you want to help people, and that's always, where it leads from and everything. Could you tell me a little bit about what it was like to have to learn English as fast as possible? I can't even imagine.
It was horrible, Eric. Still horrible because I'm still learning.
I think I've never run into an issue where you didn't know a word or anything, so I don't know. I think
I'm still learning.
But especially as a 17-year-old, I can't even imagine having to learn a whole other language.
It's like,
were there any other Spanish speakers around you?
Well, yeah, I came into this country. We came all together as a family. It was a really bad situation back in Colombia in the 80s. With all the drug wars and blah, blah, blah. If you watch Narcos, you know. So we all came as a family. My father made a decision, a very smart decision, that we're all going as a family and we're staying together. He was never one of those to say, I'm going first and then I'm leaving you guys behind. He said, I would never do that. So we came as a family and we went to school as a family. So it was funny. Because it was like 7, 8 people in the classroom.
Oh, okay.
5 was us.
Really? Okay. So, besides your family, were there other Spanish speakers around?
In the classroom, not at that time.
No, but
not at that time. Wow. But you kind of start learning that, okay, here's the Spanish supermarket and, like my aunt or my cousins or whatever, So, yes, you do kind of surround yourself by Spanish. But we work at a company where the owner of the company kind of took my sister and I under his wing. So it was all English speaking. So we were around them. So that's how we learned more the language, because we were around them. And then he kind of give us little duties. So this is what you do, So we grew in the company because of him. And he helped us. It reimburses for the school if we got an A+ or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was, reimbursed tuition was good. But it was really hard because you go to class, okay, you learned whatever, the word of the day, the phrase, all the, things. But then you come home and you're speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The TV is in Spanish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything is in Spanish. So we kind of, as a family, made a kind of deal where we were watching American channels, English speaking channels, or, we at the office surround ourselves with all speaking English kind of deal. So, so I guess once we surrounded by then, it was easier to learn,
Yeah.
So it was,
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So you guys were trying to assimilate with the TV and things like that.
Yeah. And, and we went to school. That's the most important part, I think the school was the best thing we ever did,
Okay. Yeah. Now, do you do a lot to show any kind of Colombian pride in your daily life?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
yes,
God.
we do. It's funny because I'm here with my family, with my friends. Everything is Colombian, the Colombian food or the bakery or whatever. I'm trying to be very Colombian. And we were in Colombia a couple of years ago, and I kind of got sick, a little bit health issues, and I was sitting there on the bed, and I said to my dad, I'm like, I want to go home. I want to go home. And my dad is like, you're home? I'm like, no, I'm not home. Let's go to New Jersey.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends where you are.
Got it.
I'm
Yeah.
very proud of my Colombian heritage. And I try to make sure everybody knows where I'm from and, all the good and beautiful things the country has to offer. But at the same time, I'm very proud to be American.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I love it here, and I would never move back to Colombia. I never say never.
Now, that tipped off a interesting question. So in America, we have this idea of the American dream, and a lot of immigrants come over here searching for the American dream. Was the American dream prevalent when you came over here? Was your family thinking about that at all?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
That's a good question to ask my parents.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because our circumstances were a little bit different than the norm.
Yeah.
We were okay. It's just that because my father's business, I guess, being on a risk, and because of the 80s and the whole commotion of,
commotion. Yeah, it was a commotion.
It was a commotion. What, I don't even know how to call it.
Yeah.
The internal war. Do you know what I mean? All these different things. So my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, cousins, they all lived here way before we moved here. So it was kind of a matter of time before we migrate, So I think I don't think it was an American dream anywhere where like, I'm going to go and this is going to be what we expect. It was more of a continued living of what we have there. It was going to be a continued living.
Got it. Okay. So do you think that you have accomplished the American dream?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I'm waiting for my white picket fence though.
No, because then Frank wouldn't be able to drive the Model T around the yard.
Yes. That's an American dream.
Yeah.
That was his American dream, the Model T.
Because a lot of people, they don't even know what the American dream is. And it's kind of because the American dream is an abstract idea, how can we really define it? But the way that I define it is, if you live a better life than your parents, then you have fulfilled the American dream. And you have obviously, accomplished that it's just amazing.
And it's funny you say that, because my dad always says, every generation has to be improved.
Exactly.
Like him and his grandparents, right? They came from a small town. Of course, it was not a high-level education back then, but they went to like whatever higher education was. Then his parents, and his father is an engineer, or was an engineer, I should say. You know what I mean? So I guess that generation got better. Then my dad and my mom, they moved into a city, and it was more, a better generation. Then here we came, the kids, and it's better. Now, our kids are all graduating from college, and they're all getting these great jobs. It's a better, so like my father said, every generation should be better. And with that said, everybody has their American dream or whatever the dream is.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And some people are starting to say like the American dream is impossible, and I just hope that people understand that it is possible, and I hope that people can even look to your story and say, okay, you know what? Yeah, like it is totally possible. Now we still have like 5 minutes left, and I want to talk to you about who are some of your heroes that influence your daily motivation? Like, what do you think about to stay motivated?
My kids.
Your kids. Okay. Do you remember in the back of your mind, like, all right, I got to make this sale because I'll be able to, pay for my kids' college or something?
Yes.
Okay.
I tell them all the time.
Yeah.
Who thinks he paying for this?
Yeah.
Cleaning pays for your college.
Yeah. when I was a kid, no, when I was a sophomore in high school, my mom sat us all down and she was like, right, we can't make it happen. There's no trust fund. You either get scholarships or you don't go to college. You got to make it happen. And that was really motivational for us because we're like, oh my gosh, it's just us. There's nothing, And then I got to pay basically cash through college. I took a little bit of loans, but I paid mostly cash for college. And I was very happy that my mom sat me down and kind of gave me that real life talk about it. Yeah. But I'm sure you.
I did too.
Exactly. I was just going to get into that. I'm sure you gave them
Because my circumstances too, as you know, it's like I was single for a long time.
Okay.
So we had to do what we had to do everyday living, right?
Yeah.
So I put myself through college when I was a single mom. So I always tell them, and I said, and I went with a very minimum debt. Okay, I worked really hard. My debt was very minimum. So I always tell them, and I said, it's a lot of things out there that you can get help.
Yeah.
Your grades, your personality, people giving in to you because they just want to be nice, whatever. But it's a lot of things out there. But with that said, it says you do have to have a little game, skin on the game. So you do have, I'm going to help you as much as I can. We are going to do what we can to help you so you don't have $100,000, $200,000 debt.
Yeah.
But you do have to take. So we're going to split this one in 3. Mom, dad, and you.
Yeah.
So each one has a part on it, and we're all responsible for each of us.
Got it.
So and that's what we did. So, but I sat down with them and they said, you guys have to kind of help out.
Yeah, exactly. So before we end, I want to make sure that everyone knows how to reach you. How do they reach out to you?
Okay. Apex Building Services is a www.apex-building-services.com, or they can reach me directly on my cell phone on 908-878-7716. They can just a text message, a phone call. I'm always on the phone. I always answer.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So thank you for being on. It's been a real pleasure.
This is so much fun. Always talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep doing a good job.
Thank you.